Let's go. All right, you go. Out of the way. All right. Come on, guys. I was born October 31st. I was born on Halloween when I was about 5. And I was over at a neighbor's house. They were babysitting me, and there was nothing on TV. So I had the TV on. There was 3 channels back then. And one channel had golf, the other one had tennis, and the other one had The Wolfman, the old Universal film. And I wanted to watch The Wolfman, obviously, for obvious reasons. And the lady of the house, who was a devout Christian, said, you know, no, you can't watch that. You have to watch tennis. And I said, no, I don't want to watch that. Of course, once again, 4 years old and I'm talking back already. No, I want to watch The Wolfman movie. She said, well, you can't. It's bad. And I said, well, I'm born on Halloween, so that makes it okay. You know, I'm allowed. And she freaked out and started screaming at me and called me the devil's child. And I remember in my little tiny 4-year-old head looking at this lady and thinking, she's crazy. This lady's nuts. Did I fit in well on the playground? No. The playground was fine. It was the classroom I didn't fit in well. Mostly because, well, I was small and would speak my mind. Everything out there is multitudes of people telling you what to think. Don't think for yourself. You are not qualified to think for yourself. We're going to tell you what to think, and you better step in line and do what you're told. What we lack in humanity, what seems to be lacking, is empathy for other people. You know, to sit there and, well, he's not me, so he's going to see it differently, and that's okay. I don't need to kill him because of that. I would speak my mind and I would, you know, get in trouble. I got kicked out of my first day at kindergarten because I wouldn't color my bluebird blue. And I told them that it was, you know, my artwork, I was doing it, and so I was going to color it the color I wanted.
Mitch is an extraordinary, talented artist. He can paint, he can sculpt.
Over here, we have basically my light board. That's where I do a lot of the painting, artwork, drawing. Let's see, we got a skull, a smiling Lenin, a werewolf. There's where I do most of my casting and a lot of sculpting. The 160 stuff started when my son was about 4 or 5, and I started making, the first one I made for him was Batman, so I had to sculpt the Batman suit and then cast it in rubber for the figure, and then put it on a G.I. Joe, an old G.I. Joe. And that's how that got started, which actually somebody came to me and said, well, I want one for my kid, and then it snowballed from there. I started making them of people. They wanted their kids made, or they wanted one of them, or so that was a small business that lasted for a short time. But I still make stuff, I still sell stuff, and that's how I make money to support my guitar habit, which makes money to support my helping around the house money.
When he works on these movies, they ask for something. He just has a way of just coming up with it.
I like working in the lower budget realm, mostly because it's a smaller group. You get to know each other and you're working towards a goal, and you can't go, whoa, we're professionals, we'll just get more money. It's like, well, we got to work with what we got. And so you try that much harder. Tiki, which I think is probably one of the better produced films. There was some great gore effects. My favorite one out of that is The Last Shot, which was, it wasn't even planned. We had to come up with something. And so the director was like, well, we'll do this. So Mitch, build something. And I think I had 20 minutes and a bag of stuff that I had. And just threw it together, in less than a half hour. And it's a great scene. It's at the end of the movie, and we don't know what happened to the girl. And I don't know, for some reason, it makes me laugh every time I see it, and I don't know why. Probably because I'm a horrible person. Man Without a Saddle. I thought it was really ambitious for what we were doing, and we, I like doing period pieces because that means you have to make props and costumes and make a different world, and that really makes it fun for me. Thorn in Paradise, I did the special effects. It was a medieval short. I did a stop motion monster effect puppet. I won the Ray Harryhausen Achievement Award, which is really kind of cool because when I was 4 or 5, I saw Jason and the Argonauts. That's what got me started in building my own things. When I was about 8 years old, my mother made me audition for the San Francisco Boys Choir, and I passed. The cool thing about the San Francisco Boys Choir was that when I did decide that I wanted to play music, I had a background. I knew, what a measure was, and I knew what a treble clef was. So it was actually a great thing because I learned quite a bit. When I really decided that I wanted to play music was when me and my friend, Paul, we found a Beatles album. And we put that on, and we both went, wow, what is this stuff? And within 6 months, I was a total Beatle nut, and my friend Paul was into Hendrix and Zeppelin. Revolver. It started out as a British Invasion classic rock band. And we played bars and, all that. And one year, we decided, we play all this Beatles stuff, and it's really pissing off the bar owners. So we'll just play all Beatles and do the whole Beatle thing, and we just won't play bars anymore. It's great because we get to play daytime events where there's kids and stuff, and they pay you better and you play less time because it's a show and not just a bar band. When I was about 19, I got out of the California Conservation Corps and had a bank full of money. Being young and a bit wild, it was party time. But the partying became a bit excessive, and I decided at one point it was time to quit party time and, get it together because it was getting a little crazy. So I did. I had some friends that lived about 40 miles out in the middle of nowhere, and they had a ranch, and I went there. And Chris was friends with the lady who owned the place, and that's how we met, and we were friends for probably a year. We actually did a couple of art fairs, and we would do artwork and then sell it at the fair.
I do painting on the side. Again, my love of animals comes in here. I love to paint horses and dogs. I just, every now and then feel inspired by certain animals that I've had, and I'll just start painting.
And that kind of started a more personal relationship. And then one thing led to another, and here we are 30 years later.
I met Mitch actually a year before we started going out at a friend's house. Him and his friend would show up with their guitars and their floppy brown hats and their beautiful harmonies. Oh, I was very attracted to his music, and I was attracted to him. He was a very honest person. We were kind of at the same place in life at that time. We both were in between jobs and searching for the next best thing, and we decided to pool our resources and see what happens, and that was 30 years ago.
Early in our relationship, she wrote me a little letter saying, well, you don't need to be saddled with an older woman. And she's only 7 years older than I am. I said, look, let's just give it 6 months or years and see what happens.
When me and Mitch got together, we weren't sure where it was going. We'd both been down broken roads. We decided to give it 6 months or 6 years, and every 6 years, we renew our contract.
The best thing about her is who she is. She's a great person. She's realistic and empathetic. She's awesome, really, period.
We've had some health issues recently. About 4 years ago, Mitch was having back pains, and we took him in to get it checked out. Turns out he was precursor to a heart attack, and they put a stent in his heart.
They put a stent in and said, shame on you, you need to do this and you need to do that, and you'll get better.
A couple years later, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, total remission now.
And we had to go through all that. The whole breast cancer thing, going to the doctors and hearing them say they're patented, blah, 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 because you're a survivor, like 8 times a week. You think they could come up with a new line.
Giving us a deeper appreciation for the time we have together.
She was going through a lot of the whole, oh, well, we can build it and give you a new breast and blah, blah, blah. It's just a boob. She still has 2. She's got me and the other one. it was one of those things. I don't care. I don't care if you have two boobs or no boobs, or they're just body parts. It's what's in here, and I guess what's in here that count. I'm a teeth guy. Yeah, smile. The smile and the nose. I like the nose.
If I had not met Mitch, I probably would have caved into my family and not being totally happy or following my dreams. The one thing about being with Mitch is it's very encouraging to follow your dreams.
I like the life we have. I like the life we built. Where would I be without her? I have no idea. Where else is there to be?
All I ever wanted, like every mother's son, was to be loved. Sometimes we do the oddest things, trying to find